We are tracking a couple showers out there now. Most of it's falling apart. Can't say we're going to stay dry overnight tonight. I do think we'll see some passing showers. Most of the moisture offshore has fallen apart, at least for now. That will likely flare up as we get going into the overnight hours and tomorrow morning. And that is the reason why we expect some pretty heavy rainfall at times during the day tomorrow. So we do have our weather impact alert in for Wednesday and Thursday, even for Friday, although I think we'll be clearing things up just a little bit slowly on the 4th of July. Coming up right now on 10 Tampa Bay Plus, our streaming app, we'll be talking about that and the chance for tropical development. It is increasing, according to the Hurricane Center, especially east of Florida. I'll have that coming up here now, right over on our streaming channel. Okay, guys, just after 10 o'clock on our Tuesday evening, I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. Good evening to you. We have a weather impact alert in effect for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to cover all this extra rain that's going to be coming through the area. Nothing major here, but we could see anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rainfall in some of the heavier spots, okay? And so that causes a little bit of minor flooding. Severe weather threat is low with this. Thunderstorms expected, yes. Severe weather threat, not as much. Remember all the hail we had last week? Not seeing anything like that. This is more moisture in the atmosphere than anything else to give us a better chance for flooding potential, right? Minor stuff, but the kind of stuff that if you live somewhere where it floods when you get a heavy downpour, you'll be watching for those kind of things, just in case, okay? Now, good news, we've had some of this moisture offshore start to fall apart because we had quite a bit of thunderstorm and cloud activity out here earlier. I don't say bad news, but this will flare back up overnight tonight, and that's pretty typical. That's what we expect, okay? Some of it will pop up over land, and then tomorrow, some of what pops up over here will fall apart and then immediately develop right over land. And that will really kind of start the cycle here for the next 2 days where we're going to see kind of waves of rain. It will not be a rain out at all for the next 2 days, okay? But there will be more rain around than what we've seen, especially for today. Right now, most areas are dry, except for you get up towards the Pasco-Hernando County line, and you can see we've got a little bit of a shower here. That's going to be drifting northward just past Spring Hill, just about now. That's Spring Hill over top of it, or over top of Spring Hill right now. But you can notice it's moving off to the north and the east. I think Brooksville, maybe a little sprinkle. It's kind of falling apart. There's not much left to it. The bigger picture with our high-res radar right now is not showing much. This green you see down here, Hillsborough and the Manatee and parts of Sarasota, that is not rain at this point. This is offshore, and so is that. And so just like you see this kind of pop up here, falls apart, watch it, falls apart here and then pops up over here. Probably going to do something with this. This will fall apart. We'll probably pop up a shower over here in Pinellas County. That's the nature of it. It's not a lot of rain for the overnight hours, but it is the potential for some downpours at times. Now, tropical update, okay? The Hurricane Center at 8 o'clock tonight said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and we're going to adjust this a little bit. And what they did was they went from 30% to 40% chance for development days 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is basically Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, that time frame. They also took this area to watch. They kept the left side here just barely into the Gulf of Mexico, but they extended this side further out into the Atlantic and up towards almost to Cape Hatteras. That's about Cape Lookout right there. All right, because the modeling today, as it's come in throughout the afternoon, suggested that, you know what, we might have a better chance for something to pop up here. Really weak is what we're seeing for the most part, but generally up in this area here. The GFS does try and initially close off a low here, but nothing major at all, and it immediately falls apart. I don't even know if we consider it developed. But the European's been doing a little bit better, handling this better. It does have a couple little lows trying to develop there. I mean, only one will do it, but you get the idea. That's the area to watch. So there's two separate things that we're dealing with. Rain, especially Wednesday and Thursday, and then we'll see what the tropics want to do as we get into Saturday, Sunday, and probably even into Monday. And right now, for us here in Tampa, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all, to be honest with you. I feel like I should be a little bit more. I know we got to watch it. But I just think that it's probably going to be out in the Atlantic. It's just going to be very weak. There's a lot of wind shear around, and it's going to be tough to make anything, tropically speaking, at this point. It can happen. Certainly can happen, and I'm not saying it won't, but it's certainly going to be an uphill battle. Okay, so showers exiting Newport Richey, Starkey Ranch area, 52. They're mainly north of 52 now in Pasco County. The showers up towards Crystal River are falling apart. We'll have to watch for that because I think, especially Crystal River and northern Hernando County, you could get some passing showers anytime. Not only overnight tonight, but even into tomorrow afternoon. Pretty dry for Manatee and Sarasota County so far. The showers inland, I'm telling you what, we had quite a bit of rain here earlier. Let me go back about 5 hours or so and put this into motion. And look at these thunderstorms that were over this area here, Hardy and DeSoto County. We saw about 3.5 inches of rainfall in this area with this storm right here. Right, so that is the type of rainfall that we're talking about. That is the main reason why we have our weather impact alert in effect. Now, tropical updates, kind of a little bit to look at here, right? You've got this, look at that. Look at the eye on this. This is Hurricane Flossie. 110 mile per hour winds out in the Pacific. Not going to affect us, obviously. But at the same time, there's another wave developing that could be getting its act together. We'll see if something wants to develop following behind that. But then you look at our little wave that we're watching. It's really more this area than anything else. All right, again, that's more of a weekend thing. But here's the reason why. It's this frontal boundary. See it get out over the ocean east of South Carolina and North Carolina? That's going to drop down into the Gulf as well. And when that front gets there, we watch that for a rotation. We can get development usually on the tail end, or we can get it out here as well, too. It's kind of on the tail end if you think about it, but you know, it's the bottom end of this front that we always watch. So it could happen in the Gulf or it could happen out here. Most of the European modeling says something out here, and it's very, very weak. Let's go out to Saturday evening at 9 o'clock. Can you see that spin? That is the European model saying there's a very broad area of low pressure developing. Nothing here in the Gulf. All right, so nothing for us to worry about at this point, and really not a big worry over on the East Coast. This wind could pick up 25 to 30 knots offshore and blowing water back towards Jacksonville. They could end up with some higher tides, especially Sunday and Monday. Then here we go. This is 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. That's a little bit more defined, right? If this happened, it may throw more moisture for us on Sunday. So I'm going to show you the weekend forecast. Saturday's lower rain chances. Sunday's even lower than that, but that might change. All right, depending on what this does. I still don't see severe weather or anything like that with this, and we're not talking a lot of wind or anything like that for us. All right, this is Monday at 8 p.m. There's whatever it is. It is extremely weak. Okay, so it's just probably we've got a lot of shear coming down from the north, so it's going to shear the tops of this thing off. It's going to be really hard to form anything. So it's just kind of meandering too. That's the other thing. This thing is going to be sitting and going back and forth like this here. Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, whatever it is. And it's probably not going to look initially anything like a tropical system that you're used to. All right, here we go with our forecast. Now, this is about 2 in the morning. See what I was talking about for Citrus County, Hernando, how we can just get some pop-up showers and storms blowing in off the Gulf, and then they'll fall apart. And then here we go, 6 a.m. There's some more out of the Gulf. They're heading back up to Citrus County by 7 o'clock. This is 8 o'clock. And see this line now on the models is getting later and later. But I can't rule out a few passing showers first thing in the morning, 7:30 to 8:30. And then watch what happens as we get towards lunchtime. Look at all that rain fill in, 12 to 2 o'clock. And this will be heavy. This will be some pretty good downpours when that decides to come in. And then what will happen is this is going to blow all the way over to the East Coast, and we'll get a break. And then we're going to develop more, and it comes back on. And that's atypical. This west wind you see out here, see those winds blowing in that direction, blowing from west to east? Usually that'll pop up some storms midday here along the coast and post everything over here to the East Coast by the afternoon. And then we're dry over here, okay? Not today. We've got all this moisture out here. This is Wednesday. We're going to see more storms develop. So watch this go over here and then watch what happens over Tampa. All right, I'm going to show you on this forecast. This is around 7 a.m. tomorrow. This is noon. Now watch this right here go from here to here, and instead of dry, we pop up more showers and storms here. Ready? See that? There's the initial one. There's the new one. That's around 5 to 6 o'clock. So we have some midday, 12 to 2, 5 to 6. Still have some rain hanging around, and that 5 to 6 could linger in some areas all the way through about 9 to 10 o'clock. Then we'll get a little bit of a break, and then Thursday morning, 7 a.m., here we go. We do it all over again. Look where it is, Citrus County, right? Same thing we're seeing for tomorrow morning, trying to blow in. I think altogether this will actually slide southward, the whole bunch of this, right, as we go through the day on Thursday. But there we go. That's 11:30. Start to pop up some showers and storms. They blow over the East Coast, secondary line forms, and then we keep going through it. Okay, now this is Friday. Friday at 1 o'clock, look at this, some drier air trying to work its way in. Sure, 1 or 2 showers and storms, even up in the Jacksonville area, but look at South Florida versus Tampa, which is right on the cusp, that I-4 corridor, southward, better chance for rain. Northward, a little bit drier. And this is important. This is 1 o'clock on the 4th of July, right? 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So everything you're doing out there, the parades, that type of stuff, you're going to have to watch for some rain for the first half of the day. Now, the second half of the day does look a little bit better, but this is your Friday. See how it's drier here and wetter down south? The timing is going to be all important, of course, as it always is. But I do think we're going to have some decent rain midday and early evening this way, and then fireworks time, it should be a little bit further to the south, so we'll have to wait and see. But there's your Wednesday, 80%. There's your Thursday, 90%, 60 to 70% on Friday, 50 to 60 on Saturday, and right now 40 to 50 on Sunday. And we'll just have to wait and see what kind of moisture can wrap around on whatever's left over there for Sunday. This is all of the moisture in the atmosphere. These darker greens you see in here, especially across the deep south right now, this is coming towards us, and it's coming in off of the Gulf. And that means Wednesday and Thursday, when we do get that rain, the rain that I showed you on the model there, with a number like over 2 inches of precipitable water, you're going to get some heavy downpours. And we've already had heavy downpours. They could be heavier with this amount of moisture in the atmosphere. And that's the whole reason why we've had our weather impact alerts in for Wednesday and Thursday, and even Friday for that matter. The tropical thing aside, that we don't have it in for that. We're just watching that. Now, this is trying to throw a little bit of moisture back our way towards Sunday and into Monday. That's early Tuesday morning. Again, we're looking at this. You do not see any major hurricane or tropical storm even around us at this time. So we'll wait and see if the forecast model does come back up with that. But this is the forecast model for rain. This is actually the Weather Prediction Center, and you see the oranges here along the coast. That's about 4 to 5, maybe a little over 5 inches of rain, right? We know we can get 2, 2.5, maybe 3 in some thunderstorms alone. So if you happen to get unlucky and get 3 or 4 thunderstorms, you could get even more than 6 inches of rainfall if you got some of the heavier ones. So it's going to be spotty. I don't think the rainfall is that much coverage for everybody. That's just broad brushing it for me. It'll be much spottier than that, but the numbers are possible. As a result of that, we have what's called an excessive rainfall outlook. This is for today, of course. Most of the rain's fallen apart, but we'll still have some rain for the rest of the evening hours. Not a lot. Tomorrow, look at how that comes up, and it moves from a 1 out of a 5 to a 2 out of a 5 chance, or level, I should say, of severity there, which just means heavier rainfall. And then look at Thursday. Yeah, so you can see why the heaviest rainfall forecast is right along the immediate coast, right? I-75 and westward through Thursday. Now on Friday, look at this. It goes further south, but we drop the yellow. We're getting rid of some of that moisture. We're going to push it southward. Tampa's still in it, though. And I think that's the first half of the day. Hopefully we'll dry things up a little bit towards the second half of the day as we get into Friday evening. Now, this is the forecast model. I call this a tropical look at it, trying to see if there's a low pressure out there. And this is Saturday at 11 p.m. Yeah, that's a weak low, maybe, right, from the European model. Let's go out to Sunday at 7 p.m. Yeah, see, so it's kind of a weak low, sits here, kind of drifts up here. Saturday afternoon and the Sunday afternoon, then what does it do? Then it's kind of sitting out here as we get into Monday morning, and then it's gone. Like, did it just drift to the north? Did it just fall apart? There's a ton of shear coming in from the north here. Is that what got it? Okay, that's the European model. Here's the GFS. Watch this area over here, because it's trying to say, weak low, Friday night and the Saturday. This is Saturday afternoon. It's a very broad area, low pressure, though. This is not anything we need to be worried about.